Am I the only
All
person using
right.
AirPods?
Oh boy. Oh, that's why. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Game Drain. Good to see everybody. See a few people that showed up in the chat already. Good to see you
It's
guys.
quick.
Too Big, Mr. Joanna Dark, Blind Giant. Matt Likes Games is here and in the chat. So fantastic. Really good to see. But anyways, let me go on ahead and welcome our guest of this week. Today we got Mr. Wilmyhood with us this evening. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I am good, man. Hopefully everybody else is too. It's another the bad part being here means it's the end of the weekend. And tomorrow's back to reality. So let's talk some games and make ourselves forget tomorrow's Monday.
Yeah.
Right. we'll do the best that we can to just kind of chill and kind of vibe out and not have to think about the work that you might have to do tomorrow or whatnot. But first of all, I want to get a couple things from you. I want to know what you've been playing as of, the last few weeks. If you've been playing anything, what is the console or area that you've been playing the most, like most of your games and whatnot? And
this is gonna be fun.
Just go ahead and spit. Like, let us know what's going on, bro. Keep going.
Well, this morning I finished Bright Memory on my Xbox. Before that, I finished Stray on the PS5, and I've been playing the hell out of my Steam Deck. I've been playing Mortuary Assistant.
You got a Steam Deck. Nice.
Oh God, yeah, dude. I ordered that thing as soon as it came available.
Yeah, I'm still waiting in line for that.
I mean, I love my PC games.
Yeah.
But I played Mortuary Assistant. I've played, good God. I went back and played God of War on the Steam Deck. I've played a little bit of everything on there. Nice. So I've been playing a little bit of everything.
Runs well on there?
Yeah.
Like God
I mean,
of War,
it's no, it's not 60 frames, but I mean, still.
Yeah. I mean, it
Steam
didn't run
Deck
60 frames on PS4, so
the Steam Deck is a nice little piece of hardware. Trust me.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Man, just
worth every penny.
Spider-Man on there,
To me, it's worth every penny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's good to hear because I'm thinking about getting one.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry to get one yet. I want one, but I'm just not in a hurry to get it quite yet.
It's not something you really need, I guess.
I'll probably get that next year.
Yeah. No, I mean you don't have to have it, but I mean it's just one of those things, dude.
It's cool novelty, Like,
yeah, I buy everything that fucking comes out. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel that. All right, and so that's what you've been playing most of your stuff on as of right now.
Yeah, I mean I go back and forth from PC to Xbox to PS5, so depends on what kind of mood I'm in that day.
Oh, I feel that.
100%. How'd you like Bright Memory Infinite? Because I actually really enjoyed that. It was short, but I enjoyed it.
I liked it, but it was very, very short. I think I completed it in 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah, about the same here. About an hour 30 minutes, I was done with it. But it was good. It was fun for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, and to think one guy created it.
That's really impressive.
It was impressive. So, but no, I really enjoyed the game. I just wish it would have been longer.
Yeah, same here.
But then again, not every game needs to be 100 hours.
Yeah. Or because it's like $20 for an hour and a half. For me, it was good, but $10. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's a completely different game than what it was on PC.
Who knows how much game development actually costs to do?
Yeah, I had it on PC, and I think I paid $6 for it on PC like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, those Steam sales,
Oh yeah, dude, I've got 2,000 games on Steam.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. I believe that, man.
It's easy to do too.
I've gotten like 300 games in one summer, and I ain't even played any of them. Just humble bundles combined with summer sales. It's a disaster.
Exactly.
Awesome. So all right, so let's go to our panel now. I want to know what big man. It's me, Twan, has been playing. Well, if you look at our stream that we got going on, Twan looks like a giant compared to Matt right now.
Really?
Matt looks really tiny.
I guess he's like all
in our
down
stream.
like this.
Yeah.
Well, no. Technically, it's because I got this desk and it's up higher, and I have my chair raised up now.
From the
Before my
camera.
chair was down. So
Matt
my
looks
desk
like
is
a
just
fucking
tall.
Oompa Loompa today.
See, my desk is... Look, I'll stand up. Look.
He wants to prove that he's bigger than me.
Exactly. I'm a big man.
He's trying to flex on you, Twan. Don't let him do that. Anyways, you guys up in the chat, make sure you hit that like button if you're just coming in. I appreciate you all for being here. But yeah, Twan, let us know what you've been playing.
All right. Bit of a busy week for me, but not gaming as much as I would like to. But there's one game that I just cannot stop playing this week, and that is Radiant Silvergun for the Sega Saturn.
Are you going to pick up Forbidden West for a second there?
I started playing Forbidden West. I was playing that all day though, so we'll get to that later, obviously, right? But this game right here, you think it's just any other spaceship shooter, right? But this is actually a puzzle game, not a shooting game. So what I mean by that is you could shoot everything, but you're gonna lose if you do that. What you want to do is you want to pick a color and keep on shooting that color, because like enemies are different colors. There'll be blue enemies, red enemies, yellow enemies, and depending on how you chain them, you get bigger scores, and those scores make your weapons better, so you could actually fight the bosses better. So if you just, like I said, if you just shoot everything, your weapons are gonna be weak as hell, and you're gonna die. That's just how the game is. So it's like actually really fun, and I just can't stop playing it. Once it finally clicked and I actually understood how to play it, I just can't stop. So that's what I've been pretty much been playing this week.
You see Wilmy's turning on his camera to flex.
Yeah, I should have left it off. Look how dark.
Well,
look how dark it is.
Gotta let Matt know how little of a man he truly is.
Get the flash on the camera or something, on your phone. Just get some flash going on or something.
He is not 6'11". Don't believe the hype. It's not true. He is a little man.
There it is.
Here we go. How's that?
We're putting frame.
Nice. You ain't gotta be on camera, bro. You ain't gotta do all of that. You good. We appreciate you for being here straight up.
Why? I'm just an asshole with a microphone.
And that's why we want you.
We want the ass.
Hilarious, man.
Man, yeah, quit advertising yourself. Making me hot. Jesus Christ. But anyways, Twan, fantastic. What have you been playing as of lately, Mr. Games?
So today I made a point to play Horizon. I played nothing but Horizon all day until like literally 30 minutes ago.
Freaking blast.
Awesome. Dude, it's not. I can tell you right now, it's not. And I did that because I
don't
took
talk
your
too
advice.
much about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go. But I took your advice and I wrote down things to say about it. I'm not gonna read from it, but I got like general ideas of my just. But that's a horror thing.
Quit your bitch. Just play
it. Except that. It's that, and then I've been playing Oblivion. I've gotten into Oblivion because Ham mentioned it the other night, and I just hopped into it, and now I'm back in. So Oblivion and Forbidden West really is what I've been playing.
I like Forbidden West.
There you go.
We'll get to that.
Hey man, lots of people do. It's just for me, I don't know.
It's that way with any game, dude.
Yeah, it's not clicking for me for some reason. It isn't. I've tried, and I'm gonna keep trying too, because I want to get my $70 worth out of it. But it's like,
well, you actually spent $70 on that game?
Oh, I pre-ordered. I got it day one. I pre-ordered as soon as pre-orders went up. I pre-ordered that game.
You could have just gotten the PS4 version. You could just upgrade for free.
I could have, and I was just like, I don't even feel like dealing with. Like, I'm so lazy when it comes to that. I'm just like, I'll just take my $10. I'm not dealing with like unreserving it and then going back. I just don't care. Just take my $10.
Man, I think Matt has his bias for. He just don't like it. He ain't rocking with it.
It's not my game. Unfortunately, it's not my game. Not yet, at least.
It gets better.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It's a slow burn at the beginning.
So I'm not going to talk about that game quite yet, because that's going to be one of the topics that we have for the week. Because Wilmy, we didn't really get to give you a rundown before the show, but each week we kind of break down a game that we all collectively like either own or have available to play. and whatnot. We just give it our thoughts and whatnot. And Forbidden West is that this week. Just to kind of give you a heads up for later on in the show, we're going to have something called a game smush, where you put 2 games together that you would personally like to see. Like 2 games, like, I don't know, like, for instance, Matt in the past did Gears of War and Halo. Like, to put those 2 games together to
like
make
it
like a
mashup
third
type thing.
Yeah, kind of like a third person, like a third person Halo or a first person Gears or something like that,
which would be fantastic.
Which would be insane, right? So
I
want you to keep that in mind, like 2 games that you would like to put together for later, just so you can have, some thoughts lingering around. And then also, we're gonna have you, since you're our guest, we make our guests give 1 overrated game of all time and 1 underrated game of all time. So throughout the show, do your best to kind of think of those couple of things. But let's go on ahead and talk about what I've been playing as of this week. And to be honest, I've been beating the hell out of my retro consoles as of lately. I've been playing a good amount of Blazing Heroes for Sega Saturn. I've been playing some random weird games on my Genesis, some NBA Showtime on my 64, NCAA 06 on my PS2, and the original Blitz the League on the original Xbox. As for the newer consoles, I've played none of my PS5 at all lately. Ever since I platinum Spider-Man Miles Morales, I just kind of took a break from it. I'm just kind of I kind of to be honest, I played the games that I kind of wanted to catch up on until until next year, because I told myself next year I'm gonna get PlayStation Plus Premium and continue on my journey of catching up on games that I've missed.
In my opinion, it is well worth the money.
Yeah, but the reason I'm waiting is because I think they're gonna have maybe a couple things get added towards the end of the year, and I want to start out fresh from the beginning of next year all the way through the end, and be able to have PlayStation Plus Premium throughout that whole time, instead of paying whatever I have that I could get it now and then making the payment again. I just really want to wait for them to kind of put some more stuff in there. What would be really cool to see, which I'm not sure if they're going to do, but I'd love to see it. I want to see them put Uncharted, the Vita version, into
Golden Abyss.
That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be so
if
great.
they put
I think
that
it's just stuck on that console.
Yeah, if they put that on PlayStation Plus Premium, I'd probably get it right away. But because I just finished every other Uncharted, so it'd be nice to go back and finish the one I didn't get to play.
I'm guessing you don't have a Vita.
I'm not finna go spend $200 on a Vita right now just to play that one game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not feeling that.
Vita's got a lot of great games, man. Come on, you're just not.
It
looking.
does, but
I'm sure it does.
Uncharted's on a different level on that. It's so good. So
absolutely. For my Series X, I've been playing some Fractured But Whole, South Park, Breakpoint, Ghost Recon. Not liking it so much as Wildlands. Wildlands was better in my opinion, but I don't know.
Wildlands was better.
You like Wildlands better too, Wilmy?
Wildlands is a lot better, dude. I don't know what they did with this last one. It was just, last time I played it was terrible.
Dude, yeah, it doesn't rub me the right way for some reason.
Well, you can rub the AI however you want, because we were standing behind one of the AI characters and we were just dancing around the guy, dude, and he didn't even shoot at us. We're like, what the hell?
That's interesting. And me, Matt, and Mike recently started playing Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and I tell you, I would not mind if Ghost Recon went back to linear.
It would be pretty great.
Because it is fantastic. Doing all of the, where you mark your different enemies all at the same time and you all shoot at the exact same time. It does this slow-mo effect. and I don't know why, but it's so goddamn satisfying. I just want to keep doing it over and over, and really for it being like a 360 game, it holds up really well for today.
Does.
So like
it does.
I highly recommend, like, especially if it's on sale. I think I bought it on sale for like $4, like $4.99 or something like that. But it can't be any more than $10. And yeah, you can purchase it on the Xbox. Yeah, so it is backwards compatible. Very good game. But let's go on ahead and move to the first subject of the show, and that is gonna be our game that we played for the week. So that game is Matt's favorite, Horizon Forbidden West. And Twan, you actually just recently picked this game up. Matt felt terrible when you went to go buy it.
I know, it was it was a scene when I was buying it.
Because you said you didn't like the first one of what you played.
I didn't even play the first one. I didn't play it.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't. Okay,
I bought it, but I just never got around to playing it. That's why I never bought the second one, because I never got a chance to play the first one. But now, right now, I'm just playing the second one. I'm just straight up playing the second one.
I thought you were mad at me, Matt, because I was sitting there kind of coercing him into it.
Oh, yeah, you're all like, go get it, go buy it. When I bought it, you're like, yes!
And then when he said he was going to pick up Returnal too, you're like, oh, yeah, let's go. Pick up. Like, no.
I spent like freaking over $100 that one night.
Yeah, you did. And I felt so good for being the bad guy a little bit, because Matt was over there just like, Cam, you're a dick, and I'm just like, I guess today I am. But I'm happy. So tell us your experiences so far in it before Matt, crushes your dreams.
Oh yeah, Matt, he's gonna go on a lot. You gotta save him for last, Matt. But yeah, I was playing. I didn't know what to expect, because honestly, like I'm usually primarily a PlayStation guy, but I don't really play many of the modern PlayStation exclusives nowadays, like Uncharted and Last of Us. I do play Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank. But other than that, usually I stick to the Japanese third parties, right? Like Persona 5, Yakuza, did all the stuff that sometimes, because a lot of that stuff didn't initially release on Xbox, right? So usually they'd always release first on PlayStation. That's what I usually use it for. So I didn't know what to expect from this game, because like at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It was kind of those games that I'm like, okay, I'll try it if I feel like it, right? But I'm playing it, right? And first it was like 30 frames, I'm like, oh. And luckily I just switched it to the performance one. I was like, much better. This is 60 frames per second is how the game should be played. Like I would not play this in 30 at all. Like it's like feels so much better to play in 60. And I'm so glad that they have that option. And I'm pretty sure you even have the option in the original game too to bring it back to 60, because I think there's a 60 FPS patch.
They patched it. Yeah, they patched it.
That's a good thing to look forward to if I ever play that game. Yeah. So but yeah, honestly the game control, like it felt really great to play. Like the graphics, the graphics don't need any explaining. Like that's like the thing, right? Like the game is just, it's a beautiful looking game.
It's eye candy.
Yeah, but the thing is, me, right? Like the graphics aren't that important to me, right? Like if it really depends on the gameplay at the end of the day for me. And so far, for what I played, I just got to the part where you actually get to the Forbidden West, right? Like we go down the thing. So I did all the tutorial stuff and everything. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I actually started the game, so I can't really talk on the whole, because I think it's an open world game, right? I can't really talk on that open worldness, right? I can't really talk on that, but from what I've played, like I think the combat's pretty good, but I don't know. Like I could see where the complaint comes in, because it feels like it's either you have a punch and a bow, and that's really it. I don't know. Like, I'm probably wrong on that. I'm not sure.
You get different weapons later.
Yeah, I could imagine, right? Yeah. So.
Plus, you also get these like not mounted guns, but you can pick up like these turrets.
Yeah, like, that was the one. There was like that snake boss. I think there was a turret.
Yeah, which is like really cool. You can do stuff like that too.
There's I just found them before. I was like, oh shit, I'll take this, and I did that, and I killed him like right away. So yeah, that was interesting. But so far I'm enjoying it. Like it's clicking right now for me. Like I'm walking around exploring, and I'm having a good time. And that's something I wasn't even sure if I was gonna like it or not. So I'm liking it so far.
All right, all right. Let's continue the positivity as we move it to Mr. Wilmyhood. What you got to say about this game? I know you're not like, you're not part of the cast of the show where you have to play this, but I know that you've played this game.
Yeah.
Probably 60 hours into it. I've enjoyed it. The only problem I have with it is there's too much dialogue. And I know that sounds stupid. I'm one of those people, I really don't care what they've got to say. I just keep pushing the button to go through most of it, unless it's important to me. A lot of the characters just talk way too much. If I'm going to collect an item for you, I don't need to hear about your mother's sister's cousins 3 times removed because he got eaten by an elk or something. I don't care. I just want to play the game, get to the mission, get it over with. But that's been my only real issue. I've not had any technical issues with it. I know some people have. But
actually, I do have one where I think some of the grass kind of flickers black sometimes.
Yeah, I tell you that, but I did have one. Later on, you go into an underground area. You go into an underground base, and I got stuck in an exhaust fan, which was kind of funny because my character just flopped like a rag doll. But other than that, I've not had any issues with it. But it's definitely a long game, and like I said, I've enjoyed it. And that reminds me, I need to finish it, but I've got so many other games to finish too. So
at 60 hours and you're still not done, man. I guess it's a long.
game.
It is a long game.
It's a big game.
It's a big game. I'm going ahead and throw on some Forbidden West so you guys can check it out as we're talking about it. But Matt, go on ahead and let them know how you felt about the game. I'll go last since I beat it.
I've got an idea what he's going to say.
Well, I'm not I tried very hard to write down actual thoughts that aren't just me bashing the game because I don't want to do that. I want to do that. So I do have some pros about the game. Obviously, you guys mentioned it. The game does look incredible. Like it's visually probably the best looking PlayStation game that I can think of, and probably one of the better looking games in general. It looks amazing. So Guerrilla did an amazing job with that. And then also the facial animations. Twan, you said you didn't play the first one. So you don't know about the facial animations in the first one. The first one, the facial animations were just...
Yeah, I think I saw some screenshots and some quick videos.
It looked like you were talking to just soulless husks.
Like
it
was kind of cringy.
It really was. It made me uncomfortable. And then in this one, it's actually like they did a really good job to not only make it better, but make it like legitimately really good.
Actual humans.
Yeah, like really good. Like there's a few moments where it looks a little iffy, but for the most part, it looks really, really good. So they did a great job.
You can even see the sweat rolling down their faces in some areas.
Yeah, they did a great job with that. And then I only really have 2 problems with this game, and that's the combat. Twan touched on it a little bit. They kind of tried to do how God of War 2018 did, where like you could upgrade and get different combos. Like, for example, there was like one, I forget what it was called, but there was like one you tap R1, then hold R2, then double tap R1. It's like it's cool when it's executed, but it's like it's not like enough. It doesn't feel as impactful as it did in God of War. So I'm not compelled to do it the way I did it in God of War. So it just kind of ends up being me with a bow versus whatever enemy the game throws at me. And that fight could last anywhere from a minute to 30 minutes, just trying to kill a giant robot dinosaur with a bow.
You think they'd give you something better, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the whole premise of the game, it's like giant robot dinosaurs. That sounds badass. Like, give me some badass. Like, I want really badass weapons. I want to feel like a unstoppable badass when I'm fighting giant robot dinosaurs.
You know?
Yeah. See, I'm ex-military, and if they would have gave me nothing but a bow to use, I probably wouldn't be here now.
It'd be horrible. You can't be doing it. But it's like in that world, she's like a trained warrior. Like I don't feel like a trained warrior in that game at all. And they made improvements to the combat from the first game, but it's just like it's still not, for me, not enough. And then also I posted about it on Twitter like right before the show. I took like a video from the game. The general traversal in that game, when you have like a mount and you're going from point A to point B, if you hit the smallest pebble or if you get even near a wall, you just stop dead in your tracks. You could be getting chased by 50 things. You will stop dead in your tracks. That is so...
The controls for the mounts are kind of irritating too, to an extent.
I haven't got that far yet, so I can't
And when I was talking to Ham, I was like, oh man, this is terrible. This is like weeks ago when Ham was still playing it. I was like, this is terrible. I can't wait to get to where I just have that bird and I can fly. And Ham was like, actually, that kind of sucks too. And I'm like,
they don't steer very well.
I'm just like, man, that's not encouraging at all. But it's like those are really the only two problems I have with the game is the combat doesn't, it's not engaging enough for me as it should be considering the setting, and the traversal, which is a huge part of an open world game. It's just not. I don't like it. But I mean,
I just
really,
did the
it's only
linear
those
sections
two things.
right now, so I don't know.
Yeah, like if they made it more linear, that would take away from the vision for the game. But like, I feel like if they made a linear experience in this world, it could probably be really good.
Yeah,
probably be really, really good. But
You know, the one thing that got me about the game too, you're talking about, the robotic dinosaurs. There were some areas you would go to, you'd be up in the top of trees, and these dinosaurs would be in the top of the tree, and you're like, how the fuck did it get there? How am I fighting a dinosaur in the top of a giant tree? It didn't have wings, it didn't climb. So how did he get there?
Who knows? That's a good question.
But there was a few areas I ran into that.
Yeah. It's like I'll say the final thing I want to say about that game feels like, to me, when I'm playing it, that game feels like a tech test. It feels like them showing off, this is what the PS5 can do, and it's really impressive, but it's just like the gameplay doesn't make me want to I don't want to beat that game. Like, I'm not compelled to. So maybe that'll change, but as of right now, it's not my jam.
It took me 2 years to finish the first one.
Oh,
that's
really?
Same for me. And then when I finished it, I was like, actually, you know what? Towards the end, that got really good. I bet they're going to nail it the second game. And so far, I'm getting the same feeling like I'll probably beat this in about 2 years. So I don't know.
All right, gotcha. I'm gonna read off a couple things in the chat before I go into mine. Earlier when Wilmy was on camera, distracted for life said, "Hello, Darth Wilmy." Hello, Darth Lord Wilmy is what he went out and said. And then he went on to say, "This is probably why retro gaming has grown. Games for me have become too complicated in general." I can kind of see what he's saying a little bit. I mean, there are some parts in certain games where it's just like it's so like well, it's like so complex, or you have to do it this specific way, and it kind of starts to take the fun a little bit out of it. Like, for instance, with this game, Horizon Forbidden West, you have to like find like the soft spots, or like the certain spots to hit the dinosaur to really get it hurt and whatnot. And I can kind of see being taken out of the fun a little bit, because it slows down your combat. So because you have to like look at the soft spot or whatever, or you have to like stop before you even engage the battle and like look around the dinosaurs, see where it's at, and it's just kind of like, man, I just want to get in there and kill them. Like that's I mean, that's really what I want to do. And for me, the fighting in that game was just kind of like, for me, it was very repetitive, because I was the kind of person that I just didn't care. I just wanted to get in and kill the damn thing. And when I did that, I ended up using what felt like 1,000 arrows to kill something.
Oh, you definitely have to carry a lot of supplies to make arrows.
Oh, man, one thing I was really happy that they did do with the game is they made it to when you go up to grab stuff that you don't have to bend over and grab every single.
That's an option to check.
That's an option now. When the game first came out, that was not an option. So I was running around picking every single thing up and watching her bend over 8 million times to do it. And it was just
when you're in a fight,
Oh yeah, especially when you're in a fight, it completely stops you as a character.
Yeah.
The bad part, I've made so many arrows, I'm surprised there's any trees left in the game.
Right. And
looks like Easter Island and shit.
And as I said just a moment ago, it's just like sometimes that feels so kind of boring. after a while is just aiming, shooting, and I don't know if I was maybe under leveled or just not using the right combination of things. Because if you use weapons in the correct combination, it will kill them faster. So
now
you
the
hit them
spear
with
thing, the spear you get actually does a lot more damage than your bow.
Right, and I ended up using the hell out of the spear towards the
end
of the game. Towards the end of the game, I started using the hell out of it. If you do a specific mission, you get what's called a boomstick that you can add to your spear, and it makes it even stronger and explode.
And the traps are useless.
Yeah, the traps aren't the best. I ended up kind of using some of the electric traps towards the end as well, and they helped out. But I mean, they helped out. They didn't like take care of the enemy at all. So I don't know. I felt like the combat could have been a little bit better. I really because one thing I was really looking forward to with this game was using melee up close combat a lot more, and it's just like the game almost shies you away from getting up close and personal.
Like.
So
it's like a last resort kind of thing, you know. It's like
exactly, and dodging in that game isn't fun either. Like it's like, dude, I swear that I'm nowhere near him. I'm hitting the dodge button, and somehow I get smacked and like lose most of my health. Which then there's two different ways to give yourself health. You pick up these flowers things, and like the flower things that you pick up, eventually, like as you start to die, it just uses the health for you as if you like hit the button to do it. You'll go back to think that you got like all these flowers or all this like health left, and you have none of it left, and it's like, wait a second, I thought I just had like 7 or 8 of them, and it shows you have like 2 left, and you're like, what the hell happened? But me not really paying too much attention to what I all have on board, I forgot completely about the actual health vials. I went throughout like 95% of the game, and I forgot about the actual health vials. Because I was thinking that I had to pick up those flowers because I just forgot about it, legitimately. And it's crazy because I'm scrolling past it all the time to call my bird, to call like my other mounts and whatnot. I just literally didn't even think about it at all. So maybe stupid on me, but at the same time, I'm just like, why do I have 2 ways to get health? It'd be different to me if I had to bandage myself with one of them to stop the bleeding, and then also use health. But it's like the health things are the exact same thing. They're just in 2 different areas. And it was just kind of threw me off a little bit.
And that little quick menu can mess you up too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That health vial, that red potion should be at the top with those berries. That's where it should be. And it should press up for both buttons, and you should be able to scroll between them. It shouldn't be. I don't know.
I feel like it should appear automatically when you run out of the berries. It should just be there, like as a last resort. Like, oh well, you ran out of that, but you want to use the health vial.
Yeah, that's one more option.
Yeah, that would be hella dope to see in there. But as for the story, I thought the story was actually pretty dang good. I enjoyed the story part of the game. What I wish they would have done instead of giving you all of the dialogue options, because it tries to give you like some sort of like you're in control of the story dialogue options.
You be aggressive, kind, or like
and to me it's like, just like, just tell me the damn story. Like I don't want to like the
canon one.
Like if you're gonna put me into a cutscene and make me listen to you for 5 minutes, don't let me listen to you for 2.5 minutes. Ask me a question that you know you're gonna just answer once I hit X to like grab the next piece of the story. It's like, man, just tell me the whole thing and just let me go. Or just let me skip all of it from the get-go. Having this back and forth interaction to me was a little unnecessary, because it's not like a traditional RPG, but they're trying to give you RPG elements to it. And I just thought that was unnecessary, but whatever. As for the side missions, I totally agree with Wilmy though, because like, oh my God, some of the side missions, it's just like they want to sit you down and talk about their whole fucking life story. And it's like, dude, I don't care. Just give me the mission and let me go.
The worst ones are when you're trying to find material.
Absolutely.
Because stuff, you will never get everything at one try, and you'll keep going back to that area to farm it. I waited like 3 hours to collect one part that I needed to make something. I don't even remember what it was, but it took 3 hours of going back and forth. And my wife's sitting there watching me going, I know he's going to throw that controller any second. But I didn't. I was proud of myself. I was like, nope. And I think I didn't throw it just because she was in the room. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be cool. No, I'll just go over here and I'll go back. And, it's almost a little too tedious in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is harsh on my end, but maybe it's not as well. But Horizon Forbidden West for me was like the most beautiful game that I've ever played, but one of the more boring games that I've finished this year.
Have you played Stray?
No, I haven't.
Then that's not the most boring game of the year.
Well, for me, I haven't played that game yet. So like I said, for me, as for what I've actually completed, like got to the end on in a game, that was one that was probably like in the top 5 of, or maybe 5 is a little much, but it was up there in one of the more boring games for me to play. Story-wise, it was one of the best games I've played this year. But just for actual gameplay, for me to sit down and be like, all right, I'm getting into this, I had to like really, really just tell myself, you're playing this game. You are finishing this damn game. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling where it feels like I'm shoving myself to the finish line.
I mean, it's a game. You should enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I didn't feel completely that way about it. One of the most disappointing parts was the bird in that game. Oh my goodness, the way that bird steers in as slow as it flies just drives me insane. It makes you want to just fast travel. It makes you just want to be like, screw it, I'm fast traveling.
That's why I activate every campfire I see.
Right, because that bird is just, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, right? Take some phenomenal pictures on it, but I don't ever want to fly that thing again. I'm happy I beat that game so I don't have to fly that thing again. And I hope, Matt, once you get to that area, that you can see what I mean by that, because I think that's I think you pretty much get introduced to it as a mission in that game.
Matt said, get back with him in 2025. He'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know the end of this generation how I feel about that.
Okay, all right.
He'll let you know when PS7's out.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's keep pressing on about that, because I feel like we've jumped on that game enough for right now. I think that's
big a dead bird.
Yeah, we beat the hell out of that dead bird. But all right, so now let's talk about the weekly breakdown, the news and stuff that we came throughout the week. First person I'm gonna go to is our guest on this one. What kind of news and stuff like that have you ran into that you found personally interesting?
Not a damn thing, dude. Has anything really happened or been announced? Because if it has, I've missed it.
I mean, I got like
between posting memes, I've missed it.
Yeah, there's like a few things. Well, one thing that was announced, which was like there's like a new South Park game. They didn't even announce the title. They haven't announced anything. They just showed like, hey, here's the thing. It exists. That's it. That's all we got on that. And then you got like Microsoft's comments on some of these things, but it's like that's kind of old.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, that's kind of old at this point. And there's really not a lot this week that's actually gone on. Oh, Hogwarts got delayed.
Yeah.
Hogwarts got delayed. I mean, there's one other game that got delayed too. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was one other thing.
I think I remember seeing that message thing. I remember. don't remember which game.
I just remember Hogwarts. That's the only one I remember too.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if we want to say that it was like I guess you can technically say it was delayed, but like they didn't actually have a release date. They just said winter, or like they more or less said this holiday season.
Anymore.
Well, they didn't specify which year for the winter.
Yeah, they could have 2025. It could be whenever.
Yeah,
a winter. You know,
it's a winter.
So Wilmy doesn't have a whole lot. What's going on with you, Matt?
Oh, well, I was just going to bring up the whole South Park game because I thought you'd find that interesting because you're playing Fractured But Whole right now. But they did announce a new South Park game at like THQ's showcase or something like that.
The Nordic. Yeah, they actually announced a lot at that showcase. What else did they announce? Oh, yeah. What's that game called again? Destroy All Humans 2 is getting a remake, so that's interesting.
And there was a sequel.
Yeah.
There was a sequel of another game that's from like the late 90s. They're finally making a sequel to it. I can't remember what the game is called, but it looks like a pretty fun game. I don't know what it's called though. But yeah, there's not a ton of heavy hitting news this week.
Well, Gamescom's coming up. I mean, but that's really
thank
about
goodness
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but why? What are we really going to see? We already saw.
Well, I'm more excited for Gamescom. Like, not even because of Gamescom, but like for QuakeCon.
Yeah.
But like even then, QuakeCon is like, you know, it's kind of stuff you're already well aware of. Maybe they'll have some little surprise. Who knows?
That'd be nice.
But outside of that, I mean, I honestly don't know.
So it was Arc Raiders was the game I was thinking of that got delayed as well.
That's right.
Yep. Arc Raiders and Marvel's Midnight Sun.
That got delayed?
Mm-hmm.
But when?
I think it got delayed because wasn't it supposed to come out here soon? So I think is that when it got delayed too?
I have no idea. Sometime next year. That's all I know.
Yeah. See, I'm not excited for that game at all. So I'm just here to let you know that it's delayed. I don't know exactly when it's coming out because I really don't care.
March 31st.
March 31st.
Yeah, it's a decent delay.
Dude, let's talk about how crazy next year is going to be, man.
Well, we said that in 2021 too. So
all I need is Spider-Man 2. I'm satisfied. That's it. Just Spider-Man 2.
Dude,
and that's it.
I just want. All I need is Starfield.
We're talking about like Spider-Man 2, Starfield, Zelda, possibly, probably, Redfall.
It's gonna be insanity.
Hopefully,
high hopes for Redfall.
Do you have hopes for that or no?
I do.
Same here.
I really do.
Good.
Same here. Let's go.
Because Loke, which is a person that I have a podcast
He's
with,
a hater.
He is an absolute hater. Yeah, you know Loke, Wilmy.
Yeah, I know Loke. He's been on my show.
Yeah. So he thinks that Redfall is going to be a flop.
The only person's ever been on Gaming Beyond the Box in a suit and tie.
He's a sharp-dressed man. He's a very sharp-dressed man.
He is, but
I was going to play that song actually, but I knew YouTube would strike me for it.
Absolutely. That's an absolutely. But other games that have been delayed is like Forspoken, Stalker, Suicide Squad. Who has heard about Exomecha? Because that was in like the Xbox show off. They were showing off.
That
Xbox.
game disappeared somewhere.
Who knows?
Dude,
that game's a myth. That game is a myth. That's like the boogeyman. That's not.
It might not even exist anymore.
That's like
they probably lost the source code.
With PlayStation, except Kojima's not tied to it.
I think it's coming out when Beyond Good and Evil comes out.
Oh God, yeah.
The second one, yeah. That got announced like how many years ago? Like 5 or 6 years ago.
At this point, yeah, about that.
Gollum got delayed. Avatar, Warhammer. I mean, there's been a ton of games getting delayed.
Just 2023 is gonna be stacked, man.
It is. It is.
See, that's.
I'm not going to say that.
Oh, what's up?
I'm not going to say it's going to be stacked next year because we all said that last year.
See,
I feel like we always say next year's going to be stacked.
I feel like we can say next year's going to be stacked because it'll be filled with all the games we were supposed to get this year.
Yeah,
and then we can say the same thing for 2024.
Yeah, and see, I think something else is going to pop up. They're going to be like, "Oh, all these games aren't coming out because COVID 39's out." You know, so
who knows by then?
I personally think it's going to be stacked just because that each platform has several things coming. It's not just Xbox that has a couple games coming out, but PlayStation also has games that are like, big and supposed to come out. The Switch is on top of their game right now, so I really think there's a lot to look forward to and a lot to be excited about.
Nintendo games, they're simple. How hard is it to create a Nintendo game?
I can't do
it. My son works in the industry, so he can actually sit down and tell you some of them are actually pretty simple.
I mean, just next year, we're going to have Starfield, Spider-Man 2, and Breath of the Wild 2, and that's all I really need. That's already a stacked year for me. Just those three.
Yeah. And Avowed. I would like Avowed. Give me Avowed at some point, please. But, I really need Starfield.
Yeah, each 3 platform has a killer title next year, like guaranteed.
Yep.
Keep giving me horror games on Steam.
So a little news that I came up on, which I'm sure you guys all know about, is it's an old game now, but Spider-Man has recently just hit PC.
Oh yeah, that's where you can play it on Steam Deck too.
Have you seen the screenshots? People with like 3090s.
Oh yeah, I bet it's stupid.
It's insane.
It's crazy looking, dude. Trust me.
I have been disconnected from Twitter for the most part, so I haven't been seeing any of the screenshots that people have been taking of that game.
I'll post a couple for you tomorrow.
Is it really phenomenal?
It looks
it looks really good.
We have to wait till PS6 to get those graphics on console.
You're gonna be waiting. That PS5 Pro needs to hit. It needs to hit.
So do you think it is worth it for PC players to wait if that's what they have coming? So let's say God of War Ragnarok is coming out this year, supposedly, right? You never know what could happen, as Wilmy says. Do you think it's worth, as a PC player, to just sit back and wait for it to come to PC? Who knows when that comes, maybe 2023, 2024 or something like that? Or would you say going ahead and go get that PlayStation just based off of the Spider-Man remastered?
It really depends on what type of fan you are, right? Well, let's say if you're like really into the community, then you're gonna get spoiled if you don't get it day one, So
that's a good point.
Right? Like you're gonna get, like, if you're like in the community, right, and you're always interacting with people, you gotta get it on PlayStation because you are gonna get spoiled. Because you're gonna come across it, So it really depends on the type of fan you are, right?
Because people are still waiting for Last of Us Part 2 on PC, but at this point, whether you played that game or not, you know the story of that game.
Yeah.
It got spoiled like well before it was even out. Like it didn't even like in fact, Neil Druckmann had to come out and say it's so disappointing that this is happening. Like before the game even launched, it was spoiled. It was ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but for PC, as far as waiting, it's like, I would say, it's worth it to wait. Like, unless you're super plugged into the community, like Twan said, you could get spoiled. But even then, it's like, how long are you going to have to wait? Because they did get Nixxes, and they got them for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Nixxes helped bring that to PC. So it's like, how long between it launches on PlayStation and it goes to PC are you going to have to wait coming up in the future? Like, that gap's going to get shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
So, like, you won't have to wait that long. It's not that...
I'll buy it on my PlayStation, and then if I like it, I'll buy it again on PC.
That's exactly
that's why Sony hopes that people do, right? They want people to double dip.
And I'm playing right into it because I'll buy. Yeah. I'm getting ready. I'll probably next week. I'll probably buy Spider-Man on PC, just because it looks so nuts, man.
I mean, Matt is totally one of those type of people to do that too. I mean, we literally played Future Soldier for a couple hours, and Matt ran to PC and bought it. We played. We played The Line for like a couple hours, and Matt's like, I gotta get this for PC, and he went and got it there and beat him on both. And it's just like, He is very invested. He is very invested in buying them for multiple consoles. For me, I only do that for a very few amount of games. Like, I'm very picky when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. I just don't.
There's a lot of games I triple dip.
Dude, and I'm the same way. No shit. I bought Tetris Effect Connected 3 times. I don't need that 3 times, but I bought it 3 times. I
don't feel so bad.
That just means you're a maniac. It just means you and me are just, you guys are freaking insane.
I need to be stopped sometimes.
I mean, even with me with Persona 5, right? I bought that game on PS3. I bought the PS4 version. I bought Royal when it came out on PS4. So that's 3 times already. And now I'm going to get the PS5 version. I'm definitely going to get the Switch version, right?
Or you can get the Xbox version?
Yeah, if there's a physical Xbox version, I'm going to get that too. So that's going to be 6 times I buy that game.
Mine. Yeah. Oh my god.
Atlas loves Twan. Atlas can't get enough of Twan. They love him.
Like, I am praying that they don't have a physical Xbox release because I know I'm going to have to buy it. If they
I hope they do, just so you you keep losing your goddamn money.
And I have both, like, because the original Persona 5 had a collector's edition, and Royal also had a collector's edition. I have both of them. You know, I got 2 collector's editions for it.
So we got I believe the name is Sonic Andres in the chat as well. Welcome to the show, brother. He said he can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2. He also said very excited for the Battle Network Legacy Collection in 2023.
Well, yeah,
so pretty interesting stuff.
Advanced games, yeah.
Absolutely, but I mean, we got to talk that talk a little bit. I want to know, and this is bringing up a little bit of last week's subject, and I'm sure that Wilmy's talked plenty about it already. You actually spoke a little bit about it for a moment, but I just want to know, as a guest, how you feel about the whole blocking situation with Sony and Game Pass and all that junk.
Dude, business is business. I'm a government contractor because I own my own company. I block businesses all the fucking time. I get people that call me up and they're like, well, such and such has got, we're thinking about bringing them on board to work with us. What do you think? I'll undercut them just so they don't get any business from the government. I keep it all. That's kind of how businesses work. Yeah, and people forget corporations aren't your friends. They want your money.
100%.
You're a number. And I know people on both sides that are PlayStation fans, Xbox fans. I mean, they basically have tattoos on their arms.
Yeah.
That is stupid, dude. They don't know who you are. They want your money. That's it.
Dude,
I'm the same way with my contracts. I want the money. I don't care about Bobby over here that's trying to start his own company. I'm going to fuck Bobby over. That's how you do business. Business is cutthroat. That's how it works. I get it all the time. I bought one company out because he was starting to come in on some of my contracts in South Carolina. Guess what? He's not in business anymore.
You gave him that Microsoft.
Well, I basically took all of his contracts first.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I'm a little more devious than that. Microsoft's the good guy. They come in and sing Kumbaya with you and write you a check. I bankrupt you and then give you a check.
Oh man, Wilmy's a savage.
I mean, that's the way it works, dude. I mean, that's business.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that about the not being, because I made a video on this that's coming out tomorrow, and I said that exact thing. Microsoft and Sony don't care about you, really.
100%.
It's like
they don't.
Their whole thing is to make you think they do. Like Microsoft does the whole Game Pass thing. We're offering you a great value. Sony's like, we got a great console for you. We make great games. We really want you to play, and we care about. It's like they don't care about you. They want your money. They just want your money, man.
I get the razors I shave my face with are a subscription service. That what do you call that, Shave Club for men or whatever?
Yeah. Dollar Shave Club.
Well, I see it all the time advertising.
According to the stuff they send to my house, that guy's my best friend too.
Yep.
And he doesn't know me from anybody else they send razors to.
Yep.
It's the same shit, dude. It's the exact same thing.
So
they don't care.
So let me ask you another question. Do you feel like what Sony's doing is legit? Like their, complaint. Do you feel like their complaint is, in, lack of a better term, appropriate?
Oh, they're complaining about Microsoft buying Activision?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can't remember the big dog, stay on the porch.
Ooh.
As we say in the South. Because the bottom line is, dude, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fanboy for either one, but you're not going to touch Microsoft money. Yeah. Bill Gates owns every fucking thing, dude. Yeah. I mean, he got money. Nobody wants to talk about it. He got money from Pfizer. Mm-hmm. You're not going to hurt Microsoft. They got government contracts worth billions and billions and billions. He doesn't care, and you're never going to affect their money. And Sony's a great company. I've got 3 PS5s. They can't afford to do the Microsoft moves. So yeah, I mean, do I think taking Call of Duty, the marketing is going to hurt them? Honestly, some. It's going to hurt them to a degree. But I mean, most Call of Duty players, the hardcore, that's all they play is Call of Duty. Yeah. They're not playing all these other games like we're going to play. Me, I'd play Call of Duty. I play it for a couple of weeks. I delete it, never go back to it. I'll play the campaign, play multiplayer a few times, and I'm done. Yeah. But for the hardcore players, they're going to play it wherever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they don't care about those PlayStation bangers,
Yeah,
it doesn't make any. It's not even in their head. Yeah. All they care about is Call of Duty.
Horizon what? Well, they don't even know.
They don't know what that game even is.
God of who?
Yeah, God.
Exactly. I mean, they don't. It may hurt them to a degree because if you remember during the 360, Xbox had all the marketing rights.
Oh yeah,
yes, they did.
So it'll hurt some of their business, but not greatly.
And it's like that's a good point you bring up because like you said, 360 had marketing rights for Call of Duty, and it's like in the end. That was Xbox's best generation. Not even technically, but by a long shot, it was their best generation.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, even then, in the end, it was like Sony still sold more consoles. So did it really matter? I mean, it's not like it, because Sony's going to sell no matter what, whether Call of Duty is being marketed by them or not. Whether they could market the crappiest game ever, Sony still sells. So it doesn't really affect them. They're kind of a juggernaut. Microsoft's got money, but Sony is a juggernaut. So it's like, it doesn't really affect you. Plus, they said it's going to still be on your system. So it's like,
I mean, they're not losing it. It's still going to be
You're not losing it. You're just going to lose the marketing rights, which is no different to the 360 generation. And you guys did great that generation. So
They may lose a few sales, but nothing. I don't think it's going to be nothing major.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so
now if Nintendo bought it and they only put it on Switch, then I would never see another, Call of Duty game.
Could you imagine that? That Call of Duty engine running at a good 5.
Could you imagine trying to do party chat?
Yeah, but with the Joy-Cons. Yeah, it's like the Splatoon way. You gotta sync in your phone with it or some shit.
Getting stick drift every 2 weeks on that console.
Yeah. Now that would give everybody a reason to complain.
Oh, it would. It definitely be terrible. It's so crazy when you think about that. Nintendo first-party games like Zelda and Mario are still technically held back by like 360 era technology. If you think about it, like
it would be fantastic if Nintendo could make a real console.
Nintendo is the AC/DC of gaming.
Yeah.
Oh God, there you go.
Because AC/DC's never made an original song since like Back in Black.
Oh yeah,
back in the 70s. Well, Nintendo's pretty much the same way. They just keep releasing the same thing, and people still buy it.
It's a nostalgia factory, Nintendo, and
some of us gave up.
Damn good at it. Oh yeah, they're damn good at it. I'll give it that.
My Switch hasn't been turned on in 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And my wife's got a Switch Lite, and I've got a Switch Lite, and I gave mine to my grandson. I'm like, here, break it, tear it up, do whatever you want with it. I don't care.
No,
because it just never got used.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking forward to Bayonetta 3 though. That's like the one game right now I'm really looking forward to on the Switch.
Interested to check out Breath of the Wild too, just to see.
That game's probably gonna be good. It's gotta be.
I'm sure Breath of the Wild. I'm sure Zelda fans will love it, but
100%.
I just want to see what it's like. I want to see what it's like.
What do you guys think the excuse for Sony, blocking games from Game Pass would be? I'm kind of curious.
The excuse?
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Like,
I mean, they're
what's the reason?
I mean, it's like when you take your girlfriend out, she's always got that ugly girlfriend that she wants to go with her. That way, she can cock block you at the end of the night. Same thing.
Mm.
They can't compete with Microsoft, so they don't. So they're going to cock block them.
Yeah, they don't want.
That's an interesting analogy. It's an interesting analogy.
You knew what I was going to say, Ham, before you brought me on the show, dude.
Yeah.
You've been on my show. But I mean, it's the same thing, dude. That's all they're doing. They don't have the money to buy Activision, so they're just going to try to block Microsoft on a few games here and there and keep them off Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twan, it's a digital cock block. There we go.
Especially with for example, like a franchise like Resident Evil, right? Like that franchise is pretty synonymous with PlayStation, right? Since the PS1 and everything, right? So I think when Resident Evil 8 came out, right, they were actually scared that game was going to hit Game Pass, so they paid Xbox. No, not paid Xbox. They paid Capcom to make sure that game doesn't release on Game Pass for at least 12 months, from what I've heard. Yeah. Like just that game specifically.
Those were like some old. No, I was saying because those were some old documents that like we don't even know. I'm still not sure if it's ever been confirmed if those were real. I'm sure Sony wouldn't come out and say those were real, but it's it's like we don't know for sure. Yeah, it makes sense. They're competing as much as like Phil Spencer does the whole like everyone says he does the whole kumbaya thing, like and Jim Ryan is like Jim Ryan not so much, but it's like.
Yeah,
Sean Layden used to do that. Like, we love this whole community thing, but at the end of the day, they're competing. Like, they're competing, and Sony doesn't want Game Pass to grow because that's Microsoft's way of becoming
bigger. Yeah,
bigger. That's like that's their thing right now. They don't want it to grow. It wouldn't benefit PlayStation for it to grow. So it's like it makes sense for them to try and stop it.
Yeah, like I said, especially with games that PlayStation gamers are getting excited for, like with Resident Evil 8, which is PlayStation fans going to be excited for that game. But then they see it's on Game Pass as well, day one potentially, and they're like, kind of like, oh, maybe I should just get on Xbox,
Yeah, maybe I should
have that option, right?
Yep.
So
I feel like that's a nice like now reason to do it, but I think like. What Sony's trying to do, and this is totally my opinion, 100%. I think they are buying time. I think Sony is buying themselves time to try to figure out the subscription service, where their games are at. I mean, you see they have not like really announced any other new games that are coming. I mean, they've announced like a handful. But we have no idea what they're up to for like 2024 or like any kind of, big releases coming out other than, we got our God of War, we got Spider-Man, and we got Wolverine.
Oh, guys, block Game Pass version.
And Insomniac is just carrying the PS5 right now.
And I think
Insomniac is carrying the PS5.
Oh, big time. Absolutely. And Insomniac, and then rejuvenated games by Naughty Dog. They're carrying they're carrying a little bit. and I think we're gonna see even more rejuvenated games coming soon, I bet, from other studios and whatnot.
I saw Alone in the Dark is getting a remake.
Oh yeah, that's from the Nordic conference, I think.
That excites me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting, that one, yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious because I'm just thinking, like, what are they using or what are they buying this time for? Are they going to actually dive into the subscription service more? Because I personally think they will. I don't really think they have much of a choice.
They're going to have to, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the next step forward.
Because how do you compete? I mean, I don't think you really can compete with Microsoft. But like,
they don't want you to.
How do you stay one step ahead of something like that? Because that's just like ginormous. Like Starfield coming to Game Pass. You got these Activision games that are purchased. Aaron Greenberg, didn't he say like all the games that you see in this conference is supposed to be going into Game Pass? But then we didn't see certain things like Diablo come into Game Pass, and I'm thinking that they got to wait until that deal gets finalized before they can absolutely nail it to the wall and say, all right, this is on Game Pass 100%. But does any of us on the panel believe that this deal is going to be done by October? Because that's what people are out there trying to say.
I thought it was supposed to be the 1st of August.
Yeah, there were people saying August because they sent like the regulatory body asked for information and Microsoft sent them that information, and then from there they have 30 days to ask for more information. And I'm not sure, and that was like last month. I don't know if they've asked for more. They haven't announced anything, but like technically, there's a way it could go through this August. There's a way, but it's kind of doubtful. But it's I don't know.
You kind of have to think about it this way too. Before they ever made the announcement, the deal was already in the works.
Oh yeah.
You can't just come out legally say on social media you're going to buy a company at the beginning, because the attorneys aren't going to want you to talk about it until you're already in the middle of that deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I heard
part of the deal went public enough for you to be able to speak on it. That's what happened.
Exactly.
Okay. So
all right.
I just feel like, because they said initially like July of 2023, and then now you're hearing like it's a very real possibility this could be before the end of the year. So it's like, if that's the case, then that's fantastic news for Xbox, because with the year they had this year, I mean, just first party wise, which is pretty non-existent, they definitely need some good news to swing in their favor, and that would be it.
Yeah, man, sooner the better.
Exactly. Also, I know like once the deal goes through, Bobby Kodak's still going to be there, but like the sooner you get that deal done, the sooner you can start the process of getting that guy far away from that place. So let's hurry it up and get this done, so this guy can just give him his money and let him walk off.
Let him be on the Chris Hansen show.
Yeah, get him out of there.
Take a seat.
Have a seat right there. Just have a seat.
Please take a seat right there.
All right. Tuan, did you have anything to add to the news for the week before we move on?
Actually, something that was actually pretty interesting it was just a little nugget that I saw tweeted out. It was Hideo Kojima, right? He mentioned how it was actually the 8-year anniversary of PT, playable teaser, right? And I just found it interesting because like they kind of got into it, the whole situation, how they brought it there to on the storefront, right? And then like a month later they had to like get it out, right? They had to like take it off because of the whole situation with the game getting canceled. It was just funny because apparently like it was just so weird it was actually really hard, because they had to like go in there and be like, they have to tell Sony, okay, you have to make sure it can be re-downloaded, which I don't think has ever been requested by Sony at all. Like I think that's the first time ever that situation has even been a thing where you're not even able to re-download the game. So like it was just interesting just to seeing how just seeing that insight, right? But yeah,
but if you've got it on a PS4, it's still there.
I mean, if you don't,
as long as you
still have it installed, right? Because
mine's still installed. I've got it on the PS4 right on the wall over here.
Yeah, but once it's really complicated to re-download it. Like it's possible to re-download it as long as you still have the license, but you gotta like get on a USB, then you gotta like copy it. It's like,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why it wasn't that creepy. I mean,
you think it's overrated?
It's way overrated.
Why was it canceled? Was it like just they couldn't do it, or is it just
it was just like Kojima? I think it was just like I think it was the battle between Kojima and Konami. I think
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was with Konami?
Yeah, Konami and Kojima. Yeah, it's a Konami property, right?
That is okay. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
All right.
It was during that phase when Konami was starting to get really weird, and everyone started hating them after. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm not a huge Kojima fan anyway. I mean,
I'm not either.
I think he should make movies instead of video games.
I mean, I love him. I love him, but I'm not his games don't speak to me, I guess.
I played
he's
28
listening
hours.
to this. He's hearing all of this right
yeah,
now.
he is a big fan. He's a big fan of the game, Drake.
I put 28 hours into Death Stranding and just could not stomach any more of it.
I need to give that game a proper shot.
I want to play the PS5
I gave it
remaster.
proper and just couldn't do it.
I feel like I'm not far enough into that game to give a judgment, but
when I had to start collecting feces and urine in bottles to throw it at creatures, I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I've had enough.
I mean, my goodness, I haven't got that far yet.
Yeah, me either.
What?
That sounds like a wild time.
That sounds like Hideo Kojima to me.
Yeah, throw some
like
shit
I said, the
on
dude should make movies instead of video games.
I couldn't imagine that on a movie. Oh, no, sir.
It happened.
But let's go on ahead and move on to the next subject. So now we got takes of the week, and I'm actually going to go to Wilmy last on this one, just to give him time to muster up something if he hasn't already. But take of the week, Matt. What do you got so far for this one, bud?
Honestly, it's been rough looking for actual takes.
Oh, I can give you one right now.
Just go on Twitter and look at a fanboy
I can give
channel
you one right now.
I'm sure, yeah, but okay, what's up?
Yeah, people not liking Forspoken because the reason that people didn't like Forspoken is because the character was black.
Oh my god, what a phenomenally horrible take. There's a guy. I'm not going to name names or anything, but there's a guy on Twitter who was a regular fanboy for PlayStation, who said that Nathan Drake has some corny lines in Uncharted, and then you got these cringy dude bro Gears characters. But no one has a problem with that. You know what people have a problem with Forspoken for? Because it's a black woman. And I'm just like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's not because she's a black woman. It's because the dialogue is not good. It's not the little snippet of whatever that trailer was, or whatever 14, 15 seconds that was. It wasn't good. Did you also see that High on Life made fun of that?
No, I didn't see that.
I put that in our group chat.
I don't remember who posted it. I saw that.
Dude, that was hilarious. I put that in the group chat, Ham. You can check that out. And you too, Tuan.
I'm actually going to mute myself.
Which one?
Right
The F one? The F chat or the
Yeah, the F chat. But yeah, dude, High on Life made a video like joking about, and it's hilarious. But yeah, that take blew me away. Especially because, I mean, again, not naming this guy, but this guy who said this has a history of on Twitter saying the N-word. So it's like,
man.
I don't know.
Whose side are you on? I don't know.
Yeah, like what's your point really? Like, people don't like the dialogue because it was just a little bit cringy. Doesn't mean the game's going to be bad. I think Forspoken, the combat looks fun, the traversal looks fun. I'm excited for it. The dialogue is
familiar to me though. I don't know. It reminds me of another game. I just can't place it.
That
makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of does. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be the best game in the world, and
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll enjoy it for what it is. The dialogue's cringy. That's all it is. It's no big deal. It's not going to matter really, you know. So let people have opinions. Don't call them racist for not liking dialogue. That's
all right,
insane.
so I'm going to do something fun, and I'm going to play this Forspoken. Forspoken, what is it called? Trailer.
Do we have to say it again? Really? That's torture, dude.
For everybody that's watching, and then I'm gonna turn around and play the High on Life one.
You realize they do this to torture people in third world countries, right?
So, oh yeah, I'm gonna
just
torture
like
the
marriage.
shit out of my chat, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm actually gonna switch over to this screen real quick, and it's gonna look a little messy on for the chat for a moment.
So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a cuff. Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next. So let me get.
Yo, yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth, fighting giant aliens that think I'm a drug. And oh yeah, I'm talking to a freaking gun!
That was pretty good.
And that's good.
I'm
That's
talking
good marketing.
to a freaking gun.
And that's really good marketing for High on Life. That's fantastic.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
a lot of games do have some awkward dialogue, though, too, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
like you said. Oh, sorry.
all I was gonna say is that I was not with the Forspoken train at all, and I mean, Matt can straight up tell you that about me myself. Like, I was off of that train, and hearing that didn't make me more for it at all. But when because I watched that trailer at first without any sound, and I looked at it, and I was like, this looks amazing. I'm actually wanting to try to get into this a little bit more. I'm actually getting a little bit more excited for it. I listened to it and I was just like, whatever. I didn't exactly love it, but I loved it when it was muted. So like,
yeah.
The thing that I like about this game a little bit is it shows off some character, and that's kind of where my disconnect was with Horizon Forbidden West. Whereas like my character, she's better than the first one, right? But she still doesn't have any enthusiasm, in my opinion, throughout the game. Where it feels like she's just like kind of Superman, but has no kind of
personality.
Personality. Thank you. Yeah. She has no real like fun personality. She definitely feels like what you end up finding out that she is in that game if you play it long enough. So
I can already imagine.
I'm sure Wilmy knows what I'm talking about, because once you get down and play that game a while enough, you start to kind of figure out where she came from and everything like that, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense, but it still is kind of like blah a little bit. But the Forspoken thing is just kind of like it's kind of cringy, but it's something. It's more than just a bland ass character. She might be weird, but you know, like I said, it's better than a boring fucking character. I'd rather have something that's a little edgy. But the thing that makes me happy about Forspoken is that it looks classy, like a Forbidden West. It has that visual like, wow, that looks really pretty. I hope you guys just get that get the frame rate looking good, and then I'm
set them on board.
Good.
Yes.
But I just thought it'd be fun to bring and show everybody that other trailer since High on Life went on ahead and made fun of them about that. I thought that was pretty damn good. Those of you on the panel, more or less Twan, if you haven't checked it out, I know you probably couldn't hear it as I was playing it, but
I was just trying to look at it whilst they're doing.
But yeah, you should definitely check that out. It's pretty goddamn funny for sure.
I also love the fact they quote tweeted Forspoken when they did that. I was like, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, if you don't like that, that's fine. And I think it's kind of egregious as a person to say, "Oh, you don't like it because she's black." I mean, that to me, that's like false. That's on another level of just like insanity, right?
That's like, you're
some serious
reaching, you're grasping for straws there that really aren't there.
Yeah.
You're grasping for stuff.
And let alone this person that said it has a past of their own. So so it was really interesting hearing that person say that kind of stuff. But
social media.
Yeah, right, absolutely, absolutely. But Twan, do you got any weird takes or anything fun that
I did come across one that was quite interesting. It was actually not on Twitter. It was actually a comment on Reddit. Is what I found.
Oh, that's an even better place to find this information.
Reddit is fantastic.
All you gotta do is just look at all the downvoted comments, right? And you'll find something. So there's this one guy because he has like this retro setup, and I think he had like a Dreamcast and even just like a 360, a PS3, just some older consoles. You know, he called it his retro setup, right? And this guy was all like, no, you know, he's like, anything that could use internet is not retro. Like you know, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like, wait, so is it never going to be considered retro? He says like retro is something that doesn't use the internet, which I think is just false.
Does he realize how long the internet's been around now?
Yeah, I know, right? So it's like, are old past computers that use the internet, are those not retro? Are those still modern? You know, I mean, technically they use the internet, right? But
I mean, the original Xbox, PlayStation
I'm not
2,
retro.
Dreamcast.
Yeah. So I guess Dreamcast is modern, I guess. But,
apparently. That's insane. Because isn't like retro technically like anything outside of, was it 15 or 20 years?
Something like that. I think I want to say
it's like a vehicle. Anything over 15 years, all right, becomes a classic.
Yeah.
I think with video games it becomes a retro.
Yeah, so it's like the Xbox is retro. 360 at this point.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but I guess it's retro, I guess, but I don't know. Like even calling the PS3 retro is just weird. Yeah.
Dude, I was in school. I was in like 5th grade when that's so insane. That's why.
Oh yeah, I mean it's retro in my eyes, but I guess that guy has a different pair of goggles on. So
yeah, can't be
like I said for that's social media for you.
Yeah, I'll be like 40 years old, and I guess the 360 is not retro because he uses the internet.
Modern.
Well,
So, Wilmy, do you have anything interesting that you found this week that somebody's just kind of caught you off on? Or
actually, since we've been on the podcast, someone took a video from David Scott Jaffe, the guy that created the original God of War, and edited the video and cut it and chopped it to make it sound like he was said that Phil Spencer should lose his job because Microsoft's going bankrupt.
Microsoft's going bankrupt?
Yeah,
because that's never gonna happen.
And this is
I guess the world's ending.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy passing this video around on Twitter. And David Scott, of course, being David Scott, you know, he doesn't really take a lot of shit.
No, he gets pissed real easily.
He's coming back at this guy going, you know, this is terrible and obviously chopped up and edited. So, yeah, he's saying he never said anything like this. So it's just a typical fanboy trying to twist something. And, you know, if you got the time to sit down and take a video like this and cut it, edit it, and all that stuff, you really need to go get a job.
Yeah.
Maybe find something better to do with your time. Masturbation's fun. I mean, you know, it really beats, you know, chopping up people's videos to try to gain social media clout. Because from my understanding, Twitter cannot be monetized. Maybe, I don't know. So I don't understand the purpose of some of these people. But anyway,
it just seems like there's nothing better to do for them, so they just kind of put a lot of time into Twitter, which, you know, not my kind of thing, but God bless. So
that's why we have the FNP, the Fanboy Neutering Program.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, get rid of them.
But yeah, that was the funniest thing I've seen this week was this thing with David.
Yeah, I see this right now. That's wild. And yeah, David Scott, he's coming back
on him, isn't he?
He is. And dude, David's awesome. David is so awesome.
That's how I
He's
saw
a
it.
different type of animal for sure. He lets it be known what he's thinking, and he doesn't give a damn. And he gets under people's skin, obviously, to be able to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
People just I don't know. I really can't say they shock me anymore.
100% no.
It does. It's like, why do you do this? How do you have this much free time? But I can say the same thing about a couple of YouTubers. That's salty, but I can say the same thing about a couple of YouTubers as well. But with the clickbait and the edited videos, and it just is what it is, man. People will never change. That's why the aliens drive by us now. They don't stop anymore.
They're like, screw it.
They helped the Egyptians build those pyramids. And they said, "Fuck these people. We're not going back."
No hope. No hope for these people.
Give them internet. Look what they did with it.
Well, let's roll on down to the next topic. We only got this one and one more before we're out of here. But we finally reached the game smush where you're putting two games together to make one dope ass game. Wilmy.
Fear and Gears of War.
Fear.
Okay.
Whoa.
Fear and Gears of War.
So a Gears of War horror FPS? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
All right.
I would be down for that.
With the Krail and Alma.
I'd be down for that. That would be great.
Yeah. That sounds fucking
I love
terrifying.
Fear.
Right.
It would be. It would be.
That's the point,
Would you have
dude.
the chainsaw gun as well? Like,
yeah,
that would be
you
fantastic.
can chainsaw Alma to your heart's desire.
Nice.
And I'm not even great with horror games. Like I've just recently got into like Dead Space, but that's really it. So
that's nothing.
That's that's what I hear. That's what I hear. So it's if I could play a Gears of War horror FPS game, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that.
I mean, if you want to check out Gears,
they took it away from Gears, man. They changed it up to where it's just not the same game as the first two. It just, it was a dark, gritty game, and they took all that away.
Yeah, the first two were really dark.
Oh yeah, and
do you think that Gears is heading in the right direction where they're at right now? Like the way they left off 5 with Hive Busters and whatnot? No,
not for me. I haven't been. I played 5 and I played 4. They kind of lost me at 3. And I know you couldn't see. Well, you might have been able to see it a minute ago. I've got a big giant Lancer hanging on my wall signed by Cliffy B.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
Because Cliffy B owns a house about 4 miles from me.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've met Cliffy. But, yeah, I mean, they just, in my opinion, they killed the direction of it. Entirely.
Are you saying the third game is what lost you?
Yep, after the third, I kind of gave up.
Yeah, and there's that spin-off that everyone hated as well. I think I forgot what it was called.
Oh, Judgment.
Yeah.
Well, Judgment was better than 5 in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Judgment's the only one I have not played or beat.
5 just, I don't know, dude. The whole traveling the desert with all that empty space and everything in the world, there could have been a lot more to it, in my opinion. Yeah.
It was like a really dead battlefield until you actually went into a crevice to do something.
Yep.
Then it opened.
And that's where they started to lose me.
I'm hoping if they do that again, they start especially now they got the new consoles, start filling that world up with actual things to do besides getting from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Or just go back to linear Gears. That's totally an option too. But
exactly.
If you're going to lean into open world, just put stuff in it to do.
Make it a world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I just want a big desert.
So Fears and Gears of War. That is a hell of a duo right there. And I mean, I'm already getting nervous just thinking about playing something like that.
My nipples are hard thinking about it, dude. Trust me.
You got some hard nips. All right. All right. What do you think about those two picks, Twan?
No, I think they go hand in hand. Like, especially, I don't know if it could be even more, because I know even Fear, like especially the later ones, they're pretty action based. Especially like Fear 3, like there is a lot of action in there. So,
Fear 3.
Yeah, you haven't played. Have you played any of the Fear games, Matt?
I played Fear 2. I just got Fear 2, and I'm really enjoying Fear 2.
It's a great time to get into it because of the whole backwards compatibility program that they got going on now. So it's like, especially if you're on Xbox, it's a no brainer because I think even
they're really cheap on Steam too, by the way.
Oh, so
yeah, I got it on. That's another one of those games. I played it on Xbox, and I got it on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to play the first one though. Everyone says the first one's the best one, right?
Oh yes, and the multiplayer was good too.
Okay, do people still play that?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer, you could speed it up. It's kind of like Unreal Tournament. You know, if you were the host, you could speed it up or slow the game down.
Okay.
I used to speed it up so high. I have a family member that would play online with us, and I knew he got motion sickness. So I would speed the game up as quick as I possibly could just to listen to him puke through his headset. And yes, I am that cruel and evil.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Evil.
I remember playing Fear 2's multiplayer. I think that one wasn't too bad either. Fear 2's multiplayer. Like, they all had pretty decent multiplayer, actually. All the Fear games, which is something they didn't really need to do, in my opinion. But, hey, they did it anyways. I guess it was that era when everyone wanted to have a multiplayer shooter, you know? So
everybody had one almost.
Because, you know, Call of Duty was, like, huge. And, like, fuck. And Halo, of course, was also big. So, like, we got to get a multiplayer mode.
And remember the Darkness game?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That'd be a good one to throw in there with them too.
Yeah, that was a great. I don't think that had multiplayer, did it?
No, not at all.
No. Oh yeah.
But you could grow those extra arms or like tentacles or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good time. I almost completely forgot about that series.
All right, well, that was a fantastic pick right there. Me myself, I'm not caught up in any of the Fear games that much. I've checked out some of the stuff that Matt showed me about it and whatnot. Like, that shit looks scary, bro.
That's the point.
It's pretty scary. I can't lie to you. But
I've never been that big into horror things, but I mean, I'll definitely give it a try. I haven't really like finished a horror game since like Eternal Darkness. And that's way back on the GameCube. So like, I don't know. Horror's never been my jam, but I don't know. I might have to try them, especially with this Callisto Protocol, and I've never really got into the Resident Evil games.
Now I'm looking forward to Callisto.
Yeah, me too.
Callisto Protocol looked super cool, and I was thinking about getting into Dead Space, but the remake's like right around the corner, so I think I might just wait to play the remake on that instead of trying to start from scratch with all of the other ones.
30 FPS.
And then you can go into Dead Space 2 on PC because you got Game Pass. So
or you can just play it on Xbox. You can just play it on Xbox.
You could play it on Xbox, but you can crank the resolution up. It's 60 FPS either way, but you can crank the resolution up on PC.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh man, Stankma in the chat says no more open world, please God.
I'm kind of whipping. Open world does get a little boring at times because not everybody has 100, 200 hours to dump into one game.
100%.
It's true, but according to Ubisoft, that's all that matters. So you're getting you're getting plenty more open world games, Stankmo. Don't you worry about it.
I bought Valhalla. I started the game. Turned it on, turned it right back off. Said, I don't have that kind of time. Fuck it.
That game is huge.
And I haven't played it.
I did the same exact damn thing. I just couldn't rock with it, man. And what's crazy is I got gifted Assassin's Creed Odyssey from Hard Days Mike. That's usually on the show with us. He couldn't be here today because he's having an exceptionally tough week. So that's what I'm gonna leave it at. But yeah, he gifted me that game, and I don't know what it was about that game versus Valhalla, but like something about being a Spartan. Maybe it was like the Rise, Son of Rome feeling coming back to me. But like,
no, I did play all that.
I really enjoyed Odyssey, in what I've played.
But I was disappointed with oh god, what was it called? One of the expansions, Atlantis.
Oh. Yeah, favorite
it had nothing to do with Atlantis. Not really.
Yeah. I know Mike said because I haven't even gotten into all the expansions, but I know Mike said pretty much the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Like he's halfway through it, and he's like, it's not the same.
Yeah, I finished that expansion, started the last one, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done at this point. There's a lot of other games now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we are at our last topic, and that is overrated and underrated games of all time. And we're gonna go to the guest last on this one because I feel like he's gonna have some pretty exciting things since he has to choose both underrated and overrated. So
give him some time to think about it.
Yeah.
I've already thought about it.
More than likely, he already knows exactly what he's gonna
say.
Oh
yeah, I do.
We're just letting him sit on it a little longer.
Yeah, let him stew on it for a little bit. So I'm going to go to you, Twan, first. I want to hear what you're either underrated, overrated, or both.
All right, I got one underrated game I got right here. And I just discovered this game a couple months ago, and I've been really enjoying it too.
Is it Leisure Suit Larry?
No, that was actually his underrated game at one episode.
Yeah, that was my underrated game at one point, actually. That game was fire.
Hilarious.
But this game right here, Silhouette Mirage, it's a game by Treasure. They made a lot of games back on the Sega Genesis and a few games on the Saturn. This was actually originally a Saturn game, but then Sega didn't have the balls to bring it over to the West, so eventually they actually ported it to the PlayStation, and then a company called Working Designs actually brought it to English, right? But the problem is that they actually changed a lot when bringing it over. Like, they actually changed gameplay mechanics, they changed some story around, and a lot of people didn't like it because of that, because of all the gameplay changes. But I actually think this version is actually not too bad once you actually figure it out. Because, I mean, this game alone, the actual concept of it is actually pretty interesting. So you have like it's like a side scroller, right? You have two sides. There's the Silhouette, and it's like a blue side, and there's the red side, Mirage. So some enemies are either red or blue, and depending on which side, it affects them differently, right? So if you shoot them on their side, you drain their energy, and if you shoot them on the other side, you could kill them. So it's a lot of like switching around. It's got like a puzzle element to it. It's like a shooter. It's a really fun game, platforming. And I just discovered it recently, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And I feel like nobody really even knows about it. So yeah, I just want to throw it out there.
Yeah, that's one I've never.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never had that.
Heard
of it. Yeah, I've just discovered it recently, and this is the developer that I've played a lot of these guys' games, and I just figured I was like, oh, this is a game that they made, and I just looked at it, I was like, man, why have I never heard about this? And yeah, I just played it. And I'm like, it's not that bad. It's pretty fun.
All right, fantastic. Do you have overrated or you good?
I don't want to get controversial right now.
Fair enough. All right,
you're taking the fun out of it.
I know. Fun with that. Just pulling out of that subject. All right. So not hard days, Mike, but Matt likes games.
That's me. So I'm gonna go underrated Elden Ring. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go underrated. I want to say Quake 4, but I'm gonna go with Prey 2006.
All right,
Prey 2006.
That was a good one.
Underrated. I just got that in backwards compatibility. I remember playing that when it first came out, and I don't know what was going on in that story at that time, but I was having fun playing it. And then I saw it was backwards compatible, and I tried it. I'm like, dude, this game is really good. Like, it's still fun to play, and like the music in that game too, especially that opening scene when like the aliens come and they take you up to the sky, and then they're playing "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Blue. Yep. I'm like, dude, that's fantastic. So I mean, that would definitely be my underrated game. And overrated, that's hard, man. Because like Twan said, you don't want to.
I don't want to get people. It's going to be controversial, right?
It's really difficult.
Oh man, you guys being wimps.
Well, yeah, maybe next week. Next week, I'll get some balls next week.
Go to Wilmy and then come back to me because I'm gonna have one.
I'm actually gonna go next because Wilmy's going last. So
yeah,
because he knows my shit's gonna be controversial.
so for underrated game, I'm going for the game that you may have just seen me pull out of my 64 right here. And that is NBA Showtime. Super dope game made by Midway. Absolutely love that game. And this was a game, this was one of the games Midway came out with. They also had like Hang Time as well. That came out after like Acclaim pretty much kicked them like pretty much kicked Midway to the curb, and Acclaim came out with some really piss poor NBA jams after they got rid of Midway from being able to do that. But Midway continued on. They just changed the name, and it was literally like the exact same game as NBA Jam was back in the day. But I'd really love to see some more dope, crazy games like this come out.
I wish.
Or even if they made like, I mean, I know this wasn't Midway at all, but even if they made like NBA Street again and stuff like that, like those games were fantastic.
Just more arcade sports games, you know?
Yeah, more arcade sports games would be fantastic. And like there was a time where I like I'd catch myself playing games that I wasn't even into those sports at all. Mm-hmm. Like growing up, like I'm a little bit more into it now because I can appreciate it a lot more. But like hockey back in the day, like I was not into hockey at all. But NHL hits.
NHL hits.
NHL hits was just so good.
Me and my friend were actually playing that game recently, and there's like that mini game where you're on top of like the like a skyscraper, and you have to like hit pucks into windows, and it's just so funny to hearing the things that people say, because you'll hit something in a window, and a guy will be like, "Oh, there's a puck in my soup," and you'll throw it out of the window. It's just so funny.
It was so good for its time, and I'd love. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to bring that like aggressive kind of stuff back.
Yeah,
because you know the world's a little more PC than I would probably.
Yeah, everyone's too soft
like anymore. Yeah, I mean, but come on now, Twan. Don't you or Matt tell me about soft, and y'all don't even want to talk about overrated games.
I got one now.
Okay, y'all stepping up to the plate now. Y'all stepping up to the plate. Before you get started, let me label my overrated game. Yeah. And right now, I'm going to go on ahead and say that it is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That game is overrated, in my opinion.
I didn't know too many people that were praising it.
Oh, there is, like especially after it came out with the update, a lot of people were getting back into it, and they're like, "Oh man, this is a lot better," especially now that they took out like the ability, you can take out gear score in the game now, so you can like use the same gun as long as you want, I guess.
Yeah.
In that game. And I was thinking, you know what? That's dope. I'm gonna actually hop in this and play it. I hopped in and played it, and I like once that issue was gone, I started to notice other issues I was having with the game. Like some of the missions, it feels like you're just running, shooting a few literally shooting a few people just to go talk to somebody, and then going 10 miles away to do the same damn thing. Kill another few people, talk to somebody. Kill another few people, talk to somebody. And it was just like, man, this isn't fun. Like I want to be let loose and like have like 100 people that I gotta kill, or really figure out how to get into this like area and like hold it down and knock down everybody. But like it felt like as soon as I'd start to get like the feel of, oh man, the action is getting pretty nuts, like this is getting pretty cool, it's over. And then I go and talk to somebody, and then grab some intel in another shitty gun from somewhere, and then I'm moving to the next area to do the exact same thing over and over. And the dialogue in that game sucks. like it is really stale, really boring. They put the Punisher in that game, and I feel like that was more of a money hack kind of thing than him actually needing to be there. It was just like, oh, look at this cool guy that we paid for that's in the game. And I'm just like, dude, you could have put a no-name there and made him way more badass.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just kind of bland as fuck to me. And some of the UI, some like tagging the people around the areas, it just, I don't know, it just didn't hit the same way Wildlands did. Wildlands felt a little bit more like immersive and like action packed. And the flying in that game also sucks as well. Like it feels like I can just keep going about why that game is just not it for me. And it's so crazy because the previous game was so good. So I just don't understand how they took such a step back in the newer version, because the newer version, it looks like visually it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
The characters that you make in the game look terrible though. Like, you make your own personal character, and I don't know what it is, but like I have a black woman that I made in the game, and she looks like she needs lotion, like constantly.
Yeah. They really
like go ahead, Matt.
I think you said it the other night. Like Ubisoft knows how to make white people. But everything that's not a white person is just like, it's like, dude, they look like clay. They look like claymations. It's kind of gross looking. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying on that, because your buddy hopped in the party and he sold us both on that game.
Yep.
And I hopped on it and I was just like, this ain't it.
Yeah, when's the fun gonna start? And it just never came.
It didn't, man. It really didn't.
All right. Well, while you're speaking, Matt, go on ahead and throw out your overrated game.
Oh, okay.
Let's get controversial.
He's about to say Horizon again.
No. Although I did think about it. I did for a brief moment there. GTA 5, and I don't mean it's bad.
I'll agree with you.
It's not bad.
This is extra controversial.
It is not a bad game. In fact, I love that game. That game should not have had the tail that it has. That game, we should be like 2-3 GTAs removed from that game by now. That game needs to be just dead.
They're still making money though. That's the case.
They are. They definitely are. And that's why it's happening. But it's like, I feel like GTA 4 deserved that tail. GTA 5 is not as good as GTA 4 in any aspect for me personally. I mean, it's a good game. It's a great game, a phenomenal story, but it's just like,
I thought the story was kind of mid, in my opinion.
I loved it.
I mean, you could say it's a phenomenal story, but like, dude, Mike's story sucked. In my opinion, like Mike's story sucked. Trevor's story was the only one where I felt like, all right, I'm playing like GTA. Franklin's story to me was like off and on.
Franklin was like a moderator between Michael and Trevor. Like you could have got rid of Frank and you could have got rid of Mike in that story and just made a fantastic GTA game just on Trevor.
Oh yeah.
You could have done that. You could have done that perfectly. But it felt like there was just, to break up the craziness that is Trevor, it was like, now you got to go back to Mike. Now you got to go back to Franklin. It's like, okay, I guess. Like, it's cool, but I would just like to play as one character. Give me a story around one character that is complete and whole. And then also the fact that they were like, yeah, we're going to have tons of story DLC. And then like 4 months after launch, you're like, yeah, never mind. That's not happening. It's like, okay, well, whatever. But I just feel like that game has had, like Wilmy said, they're still making money. So like, I can't really be mad at them.
They're on that grind.
But it's like, dude, let's wrap it up. Move on to the next thing, please.
I mean, I can't knock the hustle,
3 generations
knock
so
it.
far.
Yeah, I can, like, if they're making money, it's not like I can be mad at them. It's like, dude, they are raking in money. But it's like, dude, I just want just give me the next thing, please.
It's 3 console generations we had that game for.
Exactly. Like it's time to wrap it up.
All right. I guess I gotta go now. I'm probably gonna get I'm gonna walk out that door and someone's gonna punch me in the face for saying this one. Here, I'm gonna grab the game right here. Oh, where is it?
With a visual.
I got it.
Just a copy of Elden Ring.
There we go. It's a Nintendo Switch game. And that game, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I don't get how people love this game so much. Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
I picked up this game like 6 times and I dropped it every single time. Like
you didn't learn after the first few times. I mean,
like I put like 20 hours in this game. I gave it a chance. I was like, hopefully this game just clicks. But just think of like every anime trope you could think of. That's this game's story, accompanied by like the worst voice acting you'll ever hear in your life. Like it's just, I don't get how people like it.
Sounds fantastic.
And then on top of that, the combat it's just not that interesting. It's slow. You could like for the first half of the game, you could literally enter combat, put the control down, and you'll still win the fight. Like it's just that.
That's why people like it. There you go.
It's
super easy.
I mean, if you press buttons, you'll make it go by faster, but you don't really need to do that. You know, like you'll still win. You see, it's just I don't know, man. I didn't get how people like it so much. And then, like I said, like the story is just not interesting. It's just cringe. You know, the voice acting is awful. The lip syncing is off. It's just I just can't get into it. And it's one of like it's that game that people always be like, oh, this is like the Nintendo Switch game you should get, right? But I can't.
You said Nintendo. That was enough.
Yeah, it's like
how I feel.
But are you picking up 3?
I already bought it.
Yeah, he's already got it.
Are you aware of the definition of insanity by any chance?
He's already got it.
See, I said at the beginning of this podcast, I said it because you guys were talking about how you guys buy all these games and stuff like that. And I said, you guys are fucking insane. And there you go. There you have it.
There's the confirmation right there.
I totally am.
Insanity at its peak is Twan right there.
Well, I just said I was going to buy Persona 5 like 6 times. Right?
Dude, Atlas loves you, man.
No, they don't love me. They love my money. That's what they love.
Oh, dude, no, they can't. They really care about you.
They don't come to your house in a onesie and make s'mores with you.
Exactly. They love you.
All right, let's go on ahead and finish this out. Last but not least, we got Wilmyhood. Hit us with the most underrated and the most overrated game.
Most underrated, Beyond Two Souls. Most overrated is Destiny.
Oh, snap. You went straight for the gun.
Dude, I played the first Destiny.
What?
I tried to play the second. You know, the whole thing with these vaults. You got to spin around, shoot this, shoot that. You got to stand on your left foot. You feel like SpongeBob when he's giving those blowing bubble lessons. Remember that episode of SpongeBob? You got to spin around, put your left foot down. Don't forget it. Yeah. That's the way going through some of these vaults truly are. I did one raid. It took us 7 fucking hours. I'm like, this game is not worth this shit. The bad part, at the end of the damn raid, the host glitched the fuck out, so we lost everything.
God.
And I'm like, you know what? Terrible. That will never happen to me again. I've got a best friend that plays this fucking game constantly. I mean, that's all he plays. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do it? But I don't get it. And it doesn't really vary that much. And how many other games take away the DLC you bought and paid for?
I don't like that. I hate that.
That's crazy.
I hate that. Dude,
that was one of the reasons I didn't want to get back into it, because I already was mad at Destiny for I spent $60 or whatever for it, and then not that long ago not that long later ends up going to Best Buy for like fucking $5. And then
it's completely. I mean, the gunplay is actually pretty decent. Okay. Other than that, I just don't see the point. Mm-hmm. I just don't get it.
One guy, I have a friend, he has like 5,000 hours in that game. It's like insanity.
Oh, my friend Brent, dude, probably got double or triple that. you know.
nuts.
And Thor, that was on my podcast. A friend of mine, he kept trying to get us to go play this shit, and I'm like, no, never.
I'll never play
it. Yeah, I was like, I'll never play it again. I don't care. And I really tried to get into it. I just can't do it anymore.
Just Wilmy said the most overrated game for him is Destiny.
And you don't have to tell Cognito though. Although Cog knows.
Cognito loves it.
Cog knows.
Oh yeah, I mean that whole Iron Lords podcast, they fuck with Destiny pretty hard.
Well, how do you think they got the name Iron Lords?
Yeah,
it was a Destiny podcast.
It was interesting stuff, man. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything to say before we get up out of here? Because we've hit that 2-hour mark. It is time to go relax, game, and chill.
Just say unzip pants before trying to urinate. There you go.
Whoa! What happened?
Never masturbate with hand sanitizer. I'll just give you some. Yeah.
Okay.
I just throw out helpful, like a loading screen. You know how a loading screen gives you tips? I just give people tips.
Those are good tips.
That's a tip I'm not taking.
I mean, definitely don't do it though. So as long as you don't do it.
Yeah, never masturbate with hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun time.
Probably painful.
This is why Wilmy be going to the hospital and shit like that. I mean, he'd be masturbating.
It's from experience.
Hey, dude, the funny part of that is. The funny part of it is they told my family, the doctor came in and told my wife and my daughters that there was a good chance when they brought me back that I would have memory loss. And unfortunately for everybody around me, that didn't happen. When I woke back up, I completely remembered everything. So they didn't get lucky and, I wasn't Control-Alt-Deleted.
Yeah.
So nobody wiped my hard drive. So they still have to tolerate my crazy ass.
Maybe unlucky for them, but very lucky for us. And Mr. Wilmyhood, I just want to tell you thank you so much for making an appearance on this podcast this week. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Hard Days Mike does. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it this week. But I know Twan and Matt definitely appreciate it, and I just wanted to
absolutely, sir.
100%.
I just wanted to lay it out there and let you know that I appreciate you, bro. And I'm happy that you're doing a lot better. I hope you and your family stay safe, and try to get the hell up out of this year.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, 2022 has just not been my year.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, it's been a fucked up year, that's for sure. But it is what it is. You live and you learn.
It can only get better, man.
Yeah, at least you're still, still breathing, still moving, still doing your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, any last words, gentlemen?
Yeah, nothing.
Awesome. I mean, are we just gonna do just the outro now, right?
Yep. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button if you enjoy this type of content. Hit that subscribe button. Definitely help us out. We'd appreciate that kind of stuff. Definitely. But anyways, Wilmyhood, let them know where they can find you before we get up out of here.
Oh, it's easy to find me. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. Just look for Wilmyhood. You might have a hard time finding me on Twitter though, because I've got 268,000 people blocked as of today. But you can also find me on YouTube. Look for Gaming Beyond the Box. We're almost to 22,000 subscribers, and I don't know what the fuck happened there. I didn't think we were that entertaining, but apparently we are.
It is.
Apparently, that's fantastic, man. Keep the hustle.
Dude, I was sort of shocked too, but we've got Cloud cranking out game reviews and all this other good stuff, and we got the podcast and all that, and I don't know, people like it. But I was told I'm the only Southerner on YouTube, and I don't really believe that.
Nah, that can't be true.
100%.
Well, that does gaming podcast anyway. And then some guy told me I was a dick and my sense of humor was evil and I was going to hell, and I'm like, maybe that's why we're popular.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That could be it. That could
possibly.
be it.
All right.
Maybe it's because I don't have a filter.
Probably, most definitely. Yeah. But Matt Likes Games, let them know where they can find you, bro.
Okay, so on Twitter at Matt Likes Games, games spelled with a 3, and then on YouTube, Matt Likes Games, videos Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday every week. So that's where you can check me out, is YouTube and Twitter.
Dope. Twan?
All right. You can find me here every Sunday on this show. You could also find me on Twitter at It's Me Twan. If you like retro games and especially Sega, I think you'd like to follow me. I think you could find it interesting.
Yeah. He is the Saturn master of our
I am the Sega guy. I'm the Sega guy.
Absolutely.
Definitely are.
And then as for me, you can find
sitting there.
And then as for me, you can find me here every Sunday, 7:00 in the Lord's time. And then 8:00, out east, I guess. But
how many podcasts do you have now, sir? That's my question.
Oh man, enough. I do four different shows. We're not different, but 4 shows a week, and 2 of them are on Monday or Tuesday and Thursdays. Those are Behind Them Sticks on my my home YouTube channel, which is TSWS Gaming. Me, Loke, and Cozy Beluga do a show every Friday called Bull Sittin'. But yeah, every Tuesday and Thursdays, I have a show called Behind Them Sticks, which every person that's on this podcast right now has been on that show before. I used to record it way back in the day. That's when I actually had Matt Likes Games, Twan on there, and actually Wilmy as well. I used to do the recordings, but now I do it live. You just have to, I just say either, go to the YouTube site and, hit that bell, or, follow me on Twitter at HamSolo05 Gaming to be notified whenever I go live with that, because I have varying times for that show because, I'm talking to people all over the world. Last week I talked to Ryua, which she's a Twitch streamer. I also talked to Doom Cutie, which she lives in Australia. And this coming week, I'm talking to Gaz from Game On Daily this Tuesday.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. He's an interesting fellow. That's for sure. Really fun guy.
You've seen my video clips, right?
yes, I have. They're pretty fun. They're definitely
the one I've got a Gaz.
Yes, that is something. Appropriate isn't exactly what it is.
But it's
fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome though. It is gas. And then on Thursday, I have the lead community producer of Twitch coming on. His name is Zachary Ryan. If you are into doing kind of Twitch streams, or if you have a Twitch of your own and you're kind of curious or wondering, how to do better at that, maybe tune into that show. If you have any questions at all, throw them in my DMs and I'll definitely.
It's simple. Get a hot tub, show cleavage. You're set.
I mean, if you want to take the cheat, if you want to use the cheat codes, you can do that. You can do what Wilmy just said.
I think Twan's going to do it. He's going to get a hot tub behind him next week.
I got one right there.
Yeah. All he has to do is sell one of his Saturn games, and he can get himself.
And wear a sports bra, Twan.
100%. Yeah, I got a very nice one. Just traded my copy of Shining Force 3, and I'm set. That's it.
There you go. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming and checking out the podcast today. As I said earlier, hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy it. But we will see you back here next week, 7 p.m. in the Lord's time, and then that evil fucking time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah,
Eastern time.
Fuck them guys. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful rest of the. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. The last few hours that you got. Y'all have it. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy. Peace out.
Bye night.